Hello everyone. In this video we'll discuss how we can not only measure continuously but also plot our data in real time so we can see what we are measuring, it's good or bad, and correct it as we have to do it if we have to do it. Again, I mentioned that from the previous video we'll use the code that we just developed and we'll save it with a different name. I called it lab 1c here, measure continuously and plot. And then the goal is, as we said, just continuously measure and plot after each iteration. And just to remind you, I'm using an LED that I turn it on and off so I can simulate a process, an automated process that we have to monitor by measuring the data that we acquire and then sending it to an algorithm, control algorithm that this is how it is done in industry. So basically, the task of this project that we have here, this coding, 1 and 2 are the same. On 3, in this case, I modified 3 as you can see on this code. I did move the number 3 task to 4, and in the meantime I defined the function that I need to plot the data in real time. And this time you will see that we use 2 new libraries as opposed to the previous code here. We use the matplotlib in Python and also a library that is called drawnow. And you can see that from this library drawnow I import everything. Whenever you are putting, I just want to remind you, if you used to code in Python, that whenever you want to use the whole things that the library contains, you are using you import it as star, and that will of course use a little bit more memory, but for our nowadays computers this is not a problem because most of us has a very good amount of RAM memory. So here it is how we are, and I'll go and make this large so you can see better. We use this we define this function at step number 3 here, and I apologize, I forgot. I just see that I forgot to put it. I'll put in the code, this task 1, 2, and so on, and I'll modify it a little bit so you can see in the code, rearrange it better. So again, I'm assigning how would I say, assigning the pins, the boards to the computer. And we also see that before I'm doing that, it's related to this number 3 task. I am here using 2 arrays. I'm building 2 arrays, empty arrays this time. I'm creating them, one for the time axis and one for the voltage axis, the y-axis. And then I'll start to populate this array as I take measurements. So again, I'm using the the while loop, the forever loop, and you can see here that I'm taking a measurement. I'm turning the LED on. Keep it on for like 50 milliseconds. I apologize, I have to modify that there. That was try and error play. And then I measure the data, and I also immediately after I take the data, I'm also taking the moment in time, and as I acquired, as you can see before the loop, I also took one instance that time, measured the time, because I wanted basically to get the absolute value when this loop starts to it will be my 0. So that's what I'm doing here. I am subtracting the time before the loop and from the time when the measurement was taken. Then I'm taking the voltage and transforming it into volts. Again, if you remind, this is not giving you a scaled value between 0 and 1. And then of course I start to append these voltages into that array that we will say that we populate right here, the voltage array and time array, because we want those axes, we don't want to plot just one point, we want to keep the history of the plot. So that's why we'll do it in this way. You see that then I also want to print the value. I kept that, it's not necessary this time. And then I turn the LED off, and I again leave it for 50 milliseconds. That was good to know, because sometimes if you don't give this amount of time, the computer runs this compiles and runs it faster, then the Arduino board can give you the value. I mean, turn it on and off and so on. So we have to wait a little bit for the Arduino to move. So then I'm doing the same step that I've done here again, and then at the end of one iteration, I'm drawing 2 points basically. That's I acquire 1 point here, 1 point there. So and put it in the figure. So again, I found this is very useful to basically use it there in order to draw not with errors. So let's run it. So let's run this and we'll see how it works. So that's the beginning. It goes and it starts to provide the steps. You see, turn it on and off there. And if I move my mouse, my cursor, it starts to basically, you can see that the computer, because I moved the plot, if I move the plot again, that means takes time from Python to just move that plot. So I recommend when you run this, don't move it, because you will get some values that are not supposed, I mean some not nice plots. Again, if you want to stop it, you have to click it on the shell and click C like I did it. If it doesn't work, you have to keep it Control C on and then click it on the shell so to stop it. Next, in the next video, I'll show how we keep this data. And if you are having trouble with those two libraries, how to import them that I said, the DrawNow and library, and also the we use Matplotlib library, please go and watch also I put another video there that you will see how easily it is to use pip install in command prompt window to just load any library that you need. I hope this is helpful. If in case it doesn't work for you, please let me know, send me an email, and hope you guys have a beautiful day.